Hi guys, Foxy, your drama teacher here. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for watching today's video. I thought I would have some fun today and take my giant, enormous, overflowing, unzipperable dance bag that I've had since forever and dump it and see what's inside. The purpose of this video is really to show you guys all the different types of dance gear, dance equipment, dance clothing, dance shoes. I'm a gal who loves my shoes, and dance shoes are no exception. So I thought it would just be kind of fun to dump this bag and see what treasures we find. I'll go through the items, I will explain what they are, what they're used for, what types of dance styles are predominantly used for whatever it is, if it's a leotard or a tap shoe. Obviously I'll explain the dance styles that use these items and we'll just have some fun. So here we go. Alrighty, we're gonna dump this giant, massive, knockoff Burberry duffel bag that I got in a flea market. Okay, this is a massive pile, and if you are a dancer, if you've danced your whole lives, I'm sure that you will have many similar things in this dance bag. You may even have several of these types of bags. If you are not a dancer or not familiar with the dance world, I hope this is educational for you and that you can laugh along as I pull out some things like these. Like let's just go. Let's just jump right in here. So these are tights. Obviously, if that was not already clear, these are regular, ordinary footed tights, but I think we just have to pause for a moment to just absorb the color of these tights. So why and in what circumstance would you ever need a canary blue, or no, canaries are yellow, blue jay blue tights? I actually have the answer for that question. So these were not from a dance experience. These were actually from a theatrical experience. A number of years ago, I did a production of Cinderella. Cinderella actually is a ballet and a Disney animated movie, and it's also a play, a musical. Rodgers and Hammerstein did a version of Cinderella. Cinderella it's popular, and in the ballet world, Cinderella, the ugly or the wicked stepsisters are actually portrayed by men. Funny. But in my production of Cinderella, I played one of the wicked stepsisters. I'm not going to call them ugly, I'm going to call them wicked stepsisters. There's a line in Into the Woods which has a Cinderella feature, and the narrator says of the stepsisters and the stepmother that all three were beautiful of face but vile and black of heart. So I like to think that that was me, that I was beautiful of face, maybe not vile and black of heart, though I played a vile and black of heart character. Anyway, I played a wicked stepsister, and our costumes for this production were the most ridiculous. They were gaudy, and the dresses that we wore for the ball had pom-poms on them and swirling sequins. They were just so gaudy. And the other stepsister and I, who's one of my dear friends, she and I thought it would be funny if we could find like the most obnoxious gaudy tights to go with these costumes, and that's what these were. We found them at like the Five and Below store for a couple bucks, and then so we just bought a couple pairs. That way we could have fun, colorful tights for that production. So super fun. But I also have lots and lots of dance tights in here. I will just start pulling them out as I see them so I can explain there, because there are some variations in some of these tights. Some of them are just exactly the same. You know, my black tights are actually all downstairs. I still kind of want, I wear my black tights still when I need like a layer of protection or a layer of warmth or whatever under a dress in the wintertime. I definitely still wear my black dance tights. Okay, these are just knee-highs. Those are not anything special. Oh look, I have a pack of unopened tights. That's exciting. That was a huge waste of money, but it looks like here they were only $2, so maybe they were on clearance. And I was like, oh, I should get these. Well, these are footless tights. I don't know that I've ever actually worn footless tights. Completely 100% footless tights. These have literally never been opened. You know what? I'm gonna save them in case there's ever a student like yourself who needs a pair of tights. Then I can give you these. And I can say for certain that they've never been worn. So, okay. I'll look into that pair. Oh, and these are body tights. Okay, those I want to talk about in a minute. All right, so for starters, this pair of tights here, this is a standard classic ballet pink ballet tight. The brand is Capezio. Capezio is one of the most famous dance brands out there. And these tights are opaque. Opaque just means that they are not see-through, which is important for ballet because you have so many layers on. You don't want anything peeking out or showing through. These are also what are called transition tights, and transition tights are my favorite because transition tights, when you put them on your foot like this, it's my hand, I realize that, but when you put them on, they are just normal, ordinary tights. You have your toes protected, but at the bottom, they have this little hole in them, and these are amazing because what this does is it makes it so you can lift it off of your foot and you can roll it, and then what can you do? You can wear flip-flops, live long and prosper. You can wear flip-flops. And I've got to say, after several hours in a dance studio, or even after just a workout or an hour class, my feet are just, they're aching or they're gross or they're smelly, and I want nothing more than to put on flip-flops. So I love the ability to roll up these transition tights and then put on flip-flops when I'm done. Or when I go to a class, then I can just roll them down, stick them on, and then I've got full footed tights on. These tights are old, and you can see all the little pink nail polish spots. These tights have some runs in them. And if you didn't know this, fun fact, nail polish will stop runs in tights. Same thing is true for nylons or any kind of stocking that you put on your feet. You get a run in it, nail polish is your best friend. So these probably got runs in them, oh gosh, probably 15 years ago. And they're little spots of nail polish, and the run does not go past that spot. Would it have been a better choice to use clear nail polish? Yes, absolutely. But I'm sure at the time, as a poor college student, I had pink nail polish, and so pink nail polish is what I went with. So these are awesome. These are just regular standard ballet transition tights. I love them. That's also what these are. These are just a newer pair, but same exact thing, Capezio ballet tights. These don't have any kind of runs in the heels. These also don't have the same gross like stains in the feet that your shoes get. Feet are gross. That's all I'm gonna say about that. All right, now these tights look very similar. Same type of transition foot where they have the hole in the foot like this. Same brand, these are Capezio as well, only these are what are called full body tights, and these I absolutely love, but they're very difficult to pee in. That's really the only drawback. But you put these tights on and they go all the way up. They come all the way up to here, and then they have straps that go around your shoulders, and these are just really, really great for creating a very, very smooth figure. Figure is very important in ballet. I'm not saying it's necessarily important to be skinny, but it is very important to be smooth. And so that these types of full body tights, I have them in pink. I have this pair here that are in tan, and these also have the transition feet here, which are so great for dance. I also recommend these for girls that are a little bit more well endowed, which means that you can wear a bra under these, and then you can put these over a bra and then put a leotard over top of these. It just adds layers of comfort, layers of protection, and to avoid anything to bouncing generally, unless you're the one doing the bouncing. You don't want any body parts bouncing when you're dancing. Bouncing is bad. Okay, so full body transition tights. I actually have a black pair downstairs as well. These are not the kinds of things you can wear all day, obviously, because you can't pee in them. You have to take off everything to pee. But if you have just gone to the bathroom and and you have a show coming up in a couple of minutes and you know you're not going to have a break for a couple of hours, then these are a great option for that. These are the same thing, only this is just a pair. These are, oh yeah, Capezio Ultra Soft full body transition tights that I never opened. So maybe one of you will get to wear these someday. If you need tights, let me know. All right, so let's move on. Oh, look at these. These are fun. These are leg warmers. Hail to the 80s, man, leg warmers. You know what's awesome about leg warmers is not only are they stylish for retro 80s fashionistas, that's what I was looking for, they actually serve a purpose. So leg warmers, if you remember from my deep stretch video that I posted on YouTube not too long ago, you want your muscles to be warm when you stretch them. And then after you stretch them, if you are stretching before a performance, which you should always do, you want your muscles to stay warm until you actually dance. I can think of so many times in dance when I actually was dancing and performing as a dancer. Also in musical theater, here comes a kitty cat. Also in musical theater, when I danced, if I would tap dance or do whatever kind of dance I did in musical theater, you want to go inside my bag? You can go inside. Go ahead. No? Okay. I won't like you. You just want to explore. That's okay. In musical theater, when I would dance, you would often have a dance call or a warm-up 30 minutes after arriving. So our call for a show would be 5:30 for an 8 o'clock show. And if our call was 5 or 5:30, we would have our warm up immediately, because you want to warm up. You don't want to warm up in costume. You don't want to warm up in makeup. You don't want to risk sweating in makeup. That, because you sweat in makeup and you sweat in costumes in the actual show. So what we would do is we would arrive in workout clothes, arrive in a leotard, arrive in much like in an outfit that I'm wearing right now. Stretch, warm up, get our muscles warm, stretch. And that would be over around 6, and then we would still have 2 hours until curtain. Well, 2 hours is enough time for your muscles to go cold again. So leg warmers are really, really important simply to help keep your muscles warm. And they have the transition holes in them, much like the tights did. So you can put these over normal shoes. You could put these over dance shoes. You could put these over clogs or Uggs or whatever kind of shoe you're wearing. And then these are full thigh leg warmers. So these come, you put these on here, they come all the way up to the thigh. They keep your whole entire leg warm, which is great if you had a dance call early and then you don't have curtain until 8 o'clock. And then even sometimes, even though curtain's at 8 o'clock, it's a 2.5 or 2 hour show. You might not have your first big dance number until 30 minutes into the show. And if you had your dance call at 5:30, that's 3 hours between when you warmed up and when you actually have to dance. So it's really, really important to use things like leg warmers to keep your muscles warm. Leg warmers, so fun, not just a fashion statement. Okay, this bright, colorful, fun top here serves a similar purpose to leg warmers, only they're long sleeved. And this hood, well, this hood is just so important for keeping your head warm. I'm kidding. This is the same type of thing. It's cropped, and so, but it's long sleeved, and this will also keep your arms warm. Same purpose. I often wore this to and from dance. If I was going to a class, I would come to class in a leotard and sweatpants and leg warmers and Uggs. And so afterwards, I would just throw this back on over top of whatever I was wearing to the dance class. So fun. I actually got this at Express when that type of outfit was stylish. This is another example. Nope, these are pants. I'll come back to those in a minute. Those are pants. What else is in here? I'll get to leotards in a minute. This is what I was looking for. This is another example of a ballet or a dance top that you would wear over a leotard or over dance clothing, over a uniform or over a costume. It has a wide neck. This is called a ballet neck. I'm not really sure why this trend developed the way it did, but if you have on tights that have straps, if you have on a leotard that has straps, or a sports bra or ordinary bra, then you would have this open. I don't know why. I don't know why this trend developed, but this is a little bit longer in the torso. It's only 3/4 sleeves. But again, this is just a standard typical cover up that you would wear to or from dance. Say hello to my kitty cat as she walks away. All right. Oh, look at these tights. These tights are super special. I don't even know why I have these tights in here. Honestly, I have never personally worn these. These belonged to my sister. I probably stole them from her, or she probably gave them to me when she's like, you know, I'm not going to use these anymore. Or maybe my mother gave them to me and she's like, these belong to your sister, but since you're dancing now, you can have them. These were popular when my sister twirled. She was a twirler. Those of you that are in color guard, if you were in the color guard back when I was in high school in the late 90s, early 2000s, twirling, and even in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, that's really when twirling was in its heyday. Baton twirling, if the word twirling doesn't even make sense to you. It was this other element of the color guard where you would have the color guard surrounding the marching band in the back doing their flag things, or, you know, the whole flag thing that they do. But the twirlers would be in a line in the front of the marching band, and they would be doing a baton twirling routine. If you have ever used the rifles in color guard, rifles were also predominantly used by the twirlers. And twirlers had these shimmery tights. These types of tights, they're completely footed. There's no transition in the toe whatsoever. These types of shimmery tights, they're so tan, they're not even close to my normal skin color. These tights were just very, very popular. For whatever reason, they wanted the costumes they wore were glittery and feathery and sparkly, and their legs also shimmered just like the rest of their body. So these tights are hilarious, hailing back to my sister's twirling days. All right, pants. I've got a couple pairs of pants in here. And these are all classic jazz pants. I've got two different types, two different styles. These, honestly, you really won't be able to tell a difference. I'll explain to you the difference and you're gonna be like, I don't really think there's much of a difference there. And you would be right. So these pants, these are just classic traditional jazz pants. I don't even know if they're a particular brand. The brand is Dance Team Apparel, authentic competition, and yeah, so the brand is Dance. They are high-waisted, but not high-waisted in the sense that like high-waisted has become a popular trend now. These were, you would pull them up and then you would fold the band over, and then you would create a thick yoga band around the waist. They were very tight through the thigh, but then they would have a little bit of a flare coming down in the leg. They definitely weren't, you know, like we think of leggings today, where like these, or like any other leggings that I wear or that you wear, where leggings are tight the whole way down. These were just tight in the butt and the thigh, and then they would go a little bit looser in the knee, and even a slight flare in the foot. Very, very common jazz pant. If you ever saw jazz dancers, or if you've ever seen competitive dancers, this is like a typical pair of jazz pants. The difference between this pair and this pair is the material. You can't really tell that from the video, but this is a cotton spandex blend. These are very, very soft, very cottony, and these have just a regular elastic waistband. Oh, can you hear that? That is the elastic going bad. Elastic has a limited life to it. This brand is Cheerleader and Dance with a Z, Dance Team. I don't know what that means. These were actually given to me by an old dance teacher who was a few years older than I was at the time. She grew out of them, and I was super, super skinny, so they fit me really well. Honestly, I don't think either pair of these would fit me now. But these are much wider leg, and these are much more of a shimmery material, much, much stretchier. So really the biggest difference is the waistband between these two and the material. This is a soft cotton spandex. This is going to be a nylon spandex blend. But they're absolutely interchangeable. I'm sure I wore both of these pairs in jazz routines, in jazz shows, without hesitating. So jazz pants, fun. All right, let's move on to leotards. I feel like leotards, oh yeah, leotards. Don't worry, I'll get to what gave me the big ooh. So leotards, I have lots and lots of leotards in here, and they're all very similar. They all serve a very similar purpose. I'll kind of explain the difference between all of these leotards. I don't have any long sleeve or short sleeve leotards here. I do own long sleeve and short sleeve leotards. For whatever reason, they're not in my dance bag. I don't know where they are. I actually think I have one downstairs in my closet. I come across it every once in a while and I see it and I'm like, why do I have this long sleeve white leotard? First of all, why do I own a long sleeve white? Oh, you know, I was in a show one time. That's what it was. I was in The Secret Garden. And in that show, I was double cast. And when I was not playing the lead, Lily Craven, I was a dancer. And in that show, there's a song, a beautiful song called Winter's on the Wind. It's a song sung by Dickon, if you're familiar with the story of The Secret Garden. And in that dance, there were 4 of us, and we did like a pseudo Irish step dance, but we all wore these long sleeve white leotards, and then we each took a different season, and so we were dressed with like leaves and flowers and skirts, and it was beautiful. But we had the long sleeve white Leos. That's what it's from. You're welcome for that story. Okay, leotards. Leotards are the absolute staple along with the tights in any sort of dance attire. In our class in school, I would never require a leotard. First of all, because they're a pain in the butt to pee in. And also, I think they're kind of uncomfortable. But if you would go to a studio, a ballet studio specifically, they would require a black leotard, pink tights. Maybe they would let you wear a ballet skirt. But for the most part, leotard is where it's at. So I will explain to you a couple of different types of leotards that I have here, and so you can learn a little bit about those. This was the first leotard I ever bought in college, and it is just a traditional black leotard. You can tell that it's very faded. It is a cotton spandex blend, so it's got some stretch to it. In the back, it has some little lacing, some little design there that's pretty, and then it has a shelf bra. Where I ran into complications with this leotard is that it just did not provide enough coverage for me. So I would have to wear an ordinary bra underneath this leotard so that it worked, or I would just wear like a sports bra under it and it was fine for class. But this was not a super great leotard for me for a performance because it was too exposed in the back. All right, then I also have this pink leotard, pretty much the same thing, where thin camisole straps, pretty design in the back, but then absolutely no support in the chest edge area. The difference between these two was that this one only had a lining up to the bottom of the bust, and this one has a lining that goes all the way down the front. So that's a little bit nicer. It just adds another little bit layer of lining, a layer of protection. So ballet pink, black, camisole. These are great for wearing under things. If I had a costume that was sheer, I might want to wear this pink one underneath the costume to give myself just another layer of protection, another sweat guard. Because if you wear the full body tights and you wear a leotard and then you wear a costume and you're dancing, you might think to yourself, oh my gosh, all those layers, aren't you like sweating through everything? You are. You're sweating through the tights for sure, you're sweating through the leotard for sure, but hopefully you're not actually sweating through the costume. And so these are machine washable, the tights are machine washable after a show's over. You throw everything in the washing machine and then it protects the actual costume, because costumes are very expensive, they're often very fancy, you can't machine wash them, you have to dry clean them, and so you want to protect a costume as much as possible. That's a rule for theater as well. Always protect your costume. This leotard is, again, the same thing. It's a classic tan or nude leotard. It has a very similar shelf lining inside, but again, it probably just didn't do enough good for me. The good thing about this one though is that it has a high back and it has a high front. So if I would have another camisole or a thin strap bra to wear with it, then this one would be easier to wear under something without having the back exposed, like the black and the pink leotards had in here. This one, and this one is also cotton, nice cotton leotard. And cotton is breathable, which is also often why we recommend cotton leotards, cotton or spandex blend leotard. This leotard is awesome. This leotard is 100% nylon. So it's just a Capezio. Honestly, this leotard will cost you about $10, $12, super cheap, whereas these leotards probably cost almost $30. This one, very, very economical, very inexpensive. It's got a nice stretch to it, but it's 100% nylon, so it's super low quality, very cheap. But what I love about this leotard, and I wore this leotard honestly probably more than all my other leotards combined, is that this one has nice thick straps. It is a tank leotard and has a high front, a high back, a nice full butt. And so this leotard I just felt like gave me the best coverage. So the shows that I had done where I just had to have a leotard as part of the costume, where maybe you had fancy pants or something else where you were just, like the show I just explained to you where I had a white long sleeved leotard, I just had to wear that and I didn't have anything else over top of it. I'm a very modest person when it comes to my attire. This leotard is awesome. So this leotard, honestly, I don't know that I ever actually wore it. The brand is Capezio. Are you sensing a theme here with Capezio? You'll sense a different theme when it comes to my shoes because I prefer a different brand of shoe. But Capezio is great when it comes to leotards and tights and even shoes. This leotard, again, is spaghetti strap. It has a high front, a high back, but this leotard has a built-in actual bra. So it has definite lined cups in the front, and then it also has a clasp in the back that makes it a much more secure fit. So this is a fantastic leotard for any ladies who need a little bit more coverage and more support up in the chest area. This leotard probably cost me close to $40. All right, next up, these are knee pads. And why I have these in my dance bag, I cannot tell you how much I have worn these knee pads. I've worn these knee pads in theater. I have worn these knee pads in dance. I have worn these knee pads in rehearsals. My body, generally as a rule, my skin doesn't bruise. I have either thick skin or thick blood or whatever it is, but if I run into something or I bang my arm on something, I won't bruise it. It takes a lot for me to bruise. Everywhere except for my knees. My knees, right in this area here, bruise like a peach. And they get very, very sore. They get very hurt, injured very quickly. And so when I did pointe in college, we were doing this one move, and it's very common in all styles of dance where you come up onto your toes or you come up onto the tops of your toes like this, and then you just fall onto your knees. It's a very effective, very dynamic dance move, but it just hurts, and it hurt my knees so bad. And so in class, I would always wear these to protect my knees when we did that move. There was a time in theater when I played a dog and I had to run around the stage on my hands and my knees the whole show. These came in handy again. I cannot tell you. Look at this, $11.50 for this pair of knee pads that I bought probably back in the year 2003 or 2004. And I've worn them so many times. I've loaned them to people because they have just been a lifeline for supporting my knees. I have some pretty things in my dance bag. We're almost to the shoes, I'm pretty sure. But I do want to show you guys these things really quick. These are ballet skirts. And ballet skirts are a way, I don't really really know the point of ballet skirts. I think they're just pretty, and I think people wear them just because they're pretty. This ballet skirt was given to me by someone who was just getting rid of a whole bunch of their dance stuff. And how you wear a ballet skirt is you put the tag in the back, and then you wrap it around like this, and then you tie it around your waist. And this ballet skirt is for someone that has such a tiny waist. Look at this waist. I don't think my waist was ever this tiny. I don't know that I ever even wore this ballet skirt. I think she was giving it away. I think I saw it and thought it was so pretty, so I took it, but I don't know that I ever wore it. So maybe I'll give it to one of you. Does anybody want this ballet skirt? It's lovely and it's beautiful, but you need to have a super, super tiny waist, which I don't have anymore. I also have this black ballet skirt. This one I bought myself, but what I didn't realize, again, going back to, I was such a timid, I was such a modest dresser, modest dancer. And I remember when this ballet skirt came in, I got it because it was black and I liked it. But when I wore it with a black leotard and pink tights, it was still too short for my comfort. So I don't think, again, that I ever wore it. And seriously, look how tiny my waist was when I was 18 or 19 years old. I was so skinny. And again, ballet skirt, you wrap it around and you tie it, and it just makes it look like you have a little bit of flutter when you're dancing ballet. Also, anybody want this? Because there's no way I'll ever fit into that again. And I'm okay with that because I like food. All right, this top, I love this top. I wore this in a recital. As an adult, actually, I took a lyrical class in my mid-20s at a dance studio, and it was an all-adult class, so I wasn't like in there with a bunch of kids, and we all wore black jazz pants, probably one of the pairs of black jazz pants that I had in here. We all wore black leotards under it, and then each of us had a different style of lace top. So mine was an off-the-shoulder, one shoulder, one armed lace top that I wore. Other people had like a halter top style or a tank style or a short sleeve style. This was just the one that I was given. And going back to the leotards, when I was talking about those, this is an example of when I would have wanted to wear that nylon leotard with a thick strap, because this is lace, completely 100% see-through. And so I would have had on full body tights, a thick strap leotard or a bra under it, and then this over top of it, where you could still totally have seen the straps on the side, and that was fine. That was part of the costume, but it would have just made me feel a lot more secure, a lot more tucked in, and then I could just have this lace on, and that would be really, really nice. And you could see my arm through the lace. It was just lovely. But thanks for watching, thanks for listening. If you have any questions, I'm happy to give you any information that you like. If you want any of the ballet skirts, let me know. If you need a pair of tights that are unopened, I've got a couple pairs in here. Happy to give them to you guys, so just let me know. Thanks for watching, bye.